Now, you just might have noticed that there's been a massive cry of hysterical outrage at Donald Trump's first few days in office from the left. The left is dying. There will be gnashing of teeth and much horror and weeping as their global empire of woke control crumbles, not least of all here in Australia. It's fairly certain that Peter Dutton will be the next Prime Minister of Australia. New polls this week show him pulling further ahead of Albo as preferred PM. There's still a chance that the ultimate horror outcome for our nation, though, a Labor-Green coalition government, is a possibility. That is the only possibility, by the way, if the left win. It will be a Labor-Green coalition and the Greens will have actual government power. The coalition has only a 51 to 49 lead over Labor when the pollsters work out their magic and think about how all the preferences might fall. But there's as much a shift to the sensible centre-right finally happening among young Australians as anyone else. So that should weaken the chances of such a destructive outcome as the Greens getting their hands on actual government power. Let's hope so. Some relief for one of Australia's most important sectors, small business, could be on the way. Small business in Australia has been under pressure from both big government bureaucrats and big corporates. And it's good to see the Liberal Party getting back to supporting its grassroots a little bit. Under Dutton's plan, small business would again be able to claim tax deductions on food and entertainment expenses for up to $20,000 a year. The business has to be small and have a turnover under $10 million a year. Alcohol will be excluded from the tax break and the plan will run for 2 years only initially. But what's clever about this policy is that not only will it give small business a bit of a tax break, it'll also help enormously our cafe and restaurant industry, the industry that a lot of small businesses are actually in.
We've gone through different iterations and looked at different options. We actually think it's quite an efficient spend of taxpayers' money. The reckless spending by the Prime Minister obviously has to stop, but we think particularly for cafes, restaurants, clubs and pubs, they're doing it tough. There are 165,000 workers that have left that industry, and we know that 27,000 businesses across the economy, small businesses, have closed. And so what we've proposed here is for small businesses with a turnover of less than $10 million, that's about 2.5 million businesses, or 98% of businesses in the country, they can spend up to $20,000 on employees or on customers to try and grow their business. It's tax deductible for them without the complication of fringe benefits tax. And it's also money that's being spent to help employ and keep staff in restaurants, cafes, pubs and clubs. So there's a multiplier effect there in the economy. And we think that's a really sound approach. And thanks to Angus and the economics team, we've put a lot of work into that policy.
Yep, it's a clever one because of that multiplier effect and the positive impact that it'll have on cafes and pubs and restaurants too. 27,000 small businesses have closed in Australia in the past 2.5 years. This is bloody serious because small business is one of our main employers. Small business also represents the entrepreneurial spirit of Australia. It's where innovation and progress comes from. It's the way people can say stuff you to big government and big corporations and get out there and have a crack at building and doing their own thing. And we've got to support that. It's key to our sense of freedom and self-actualization. Even Karl Marx, the greatest communist idiot of all time, understood and wrote a lot about the alienation that people feel working for big bureaucratic organisations and how that crushes the soul of individuals and nations. So this is bloody important stuff. Dutton also spoke this week about the importance of Australia's relationship with the United States after Australia's Minister for Foreign Affairs, Penny Wong, was one of the first foreign officials to meet in Washington with her new US counterpart, the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio.
Some news just in now, and Foreign Minister Penny Wong has met with her new counterpart in Washington, D.C. She is right now in talks with the incoming US Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, just hours after he was sworn in this morning.
Channel 9's Today Show on Wednesday. Peter Dutton was asked for his thoughts later that same morning.
Yeah, look, I think our relationship with the United States is incredibly important, and I don't know whether Secretary Rubio raised the comments that Penny Wong's made about Donald Trump over the years, and I don't know the conversation that's going on between the Secretary and Kevin Rudd about his former comments, or indeed, I send my best wishes to the Prime Minister. I hope that he's not scared by Donald Trump's inauguration. It seems to be going pretty well so far. So, again, the Prime Minister and others have had derogatory comments to make over a long period of time. We want to work constructively with the United States because it's the underpinning of our security in this country in a very uncertain century. And it's also a very important people-to-people relationship. We've gone through conflicts standing shoulder to shoulder with the United States over the last 100 years, and that relationship should be enhanced, not damaged, which is why it's quite remarkable that Penny Wong and Anthony Albanese have taken a position opposed to the position of even President Biden in the United Nations in recent months. And I think there is a lot of repair work to do, and it's no wonder that Penny Wong's there, I suspect on bended knee, trying to beg forgiveness for some of the impertinent comments that they've made.
The other side doesn't get more than $1 billion of taxpayers' money to bring you news from a centre-right perspective like the ABC does to bring you news from a left-wing perspective. In fact, we don't get a red cent from the government. We need voluntary donors and supporters like you to keep going and growing. And we hate asking for charity, so we've done a deal with what we think is the world's best VPN, virtual private network service. It'll keep you and your family truly safe without slowing down your internet speeds, and you can watch Netflix or other streaming services using your regular accounts with them as if you're viewing from any country in the world. And you can sign up for less than $3 a month and get a whopping 83% off the normal price. Just go to piavpn.com/otherside to sign up and get more info. That's piavpn.com/otherside. That was a segment from a recent episode of our fortnightly news commentary show, The Other Side, with me, Damien Curry. If you liked it, support us. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube right now so you don't miss a thing. It's totally free. Just click that subscribe button and the little bell. And check out our Other Side Unplugged show too, and join our mission to actually do something and change Aussie media for the better at othersidetv.com.au. That's othersidetv.com.au. Check it out now.